Ram, Namaste, Hari Om. Can you all turn on your cameras, please? Just want to see all your faces and then you can turn it off if you would like. Lovely. Hello, Ramcharan. Hello, Tejas. I see Anirudh. I see Jayantika, Pranav, Swati. Nice to see all your faces. Right, you can hear me here. Okay, great. So we will mute you all now. And then if you have any questions, please hold it till the end. We will finish the entire session and then we will open up for questions. Okay? Okay. So I'm going to mute you all now. Great. Okay, now you can feel free to turn off your cameras, but it'll be nice if you can also keep it on. Okay, it's your wish. All right. So the first 2 days, I know Radha auntie took you to 2 places, right? And we worship Lord Shiva in 2 forms. One was earth and the other was water. Today, we are going to worship Shiva, Lord Shiva, in any guesses on what form? You can chat out your answers. Do you know which element that we are going to do? Fire, that is correct. Yes, we are going to worship Lord Shiva as fire. But before that, we should know a little about fire. You know, we all know fire is hot. But how do we worship fire in Bharat? Right? That is something that we have to learn. So in Bharat, everything, you know, in Veda, you will see that everything is a symbolism. Correct? So we will worship the natural elements in the form of Lord. So the fire god in the Vedas is called Agni. And Agni is actually a very interesting god. Okay, he rides a ram. Everyone knows what a ram is. It's like that goat-like thing, you know, with that horn and all that. And he holds fire. He's very interesting god. Okay, so you should learn more about him. Maybe we will do a separate session on Agni himself. Okay, now, if you see, none of our worship, in every single thing that we do, we will always have fire element in our prayers. Be it lighting a lamp, you all light a lamp, no? Your parents would be lighting a lamp in the morning when you start your day. Especially, we will light a lamp at the dawn and dusk. Okay, what does it mean when it goes from darkness to light and from light to darkness? We will always light a lamp. That is when it is said the energies in the atmosphere is the most. So that's why we light a lamp and we try to invoke those energies and we pray to the Lord. And that's also the time when it is kind of quiet. You know, you are either starting the day or you're winding up your day. You know, you have more time for reflection and all that. So it's very symbolic. Most of the practices that we have in the Sanatana Dharma is very symbolic. And then you will also see that we do a lot of yajnas, right? You would have heard about Rajasuya yajna or Pitru Kameshti yajna, right? Can anyone tell me where you have heard this Pitra Kameshti yajna? Who did that? Anyone knows? Again, you can chat out the answer. Anyone knows who did that? Yes, it is in Ramayana. Who did that yajna? Who did it? Oh, not Valmiki. Dasharatha did it. That's right. Why did Dasharatha do it? Because he wanted a son, and hence he did something called a Pitra, Putra Kameshti Yajna. Sorry, Putra Kameshti Yajna is what? Putra means son. Okay, Kama means want. Ishti means for. So for the want of a son, he did a yajna called Putra Kameshti Yajna. So that's what he did. Now, and then we also see, when we do puja or even when we pray, what do? We do arti, right? We ring the bell, we do the arti, and then we touch the fire, we put it on our eyes and then on our head. Can someone tell me why we do that? Anyone knows why we do that? Anyone? Yes, to take the blessings. To take the blessings of God. Yes. Please don't raise your hand. You can just chat out the answers. Worship fire. It's good for your eyes. Okay. So yes, all of that. But see, when we do that, we tell this prayer. This na tatro suryo bhati na chandra tarakam. This is a shloka from the Vedas. What does it mean? It means that I am not God. I am not able to see you. Okay, I'm not able to see you with my eyes. But there are elements that make me feel your presence. So what we are telling the God is, please, we know your form is huge, but please come into this fire and take the form of this fire to bless us. So I can touch and take the blessings of you. Okay, so that's what this means. That is what we do. And also, fire is actually a it is basically it is a sign of purity. Okay, so we should know that. One second, I'm having some. Okay, there you go. So if you see a lot of our customs, when we celebrate festivals, how many of you are from South India? You must be knowing a festival called Bogi. We do Bogi, the before. You just raise your hand. I see. So we have something called the fire. We say, okay, the old things, we put it in the fire and then we start something new. Pongal. Okay, the day before Pongal is called the Bogi. And then people who celebrate Holi, we say, we create a huge bonfire and then we put things into it. Sometimes we put ghee in the yajna and all. You would have seen. We put ghee as an offering into the fire, or we put puffed rice, right? So in the festivals, there is this Holika Dan, right? So where you create a huge bonfire, you put, and then there is one festival that everybody knows. During Navratri, we send the arrow of fire and we burn down the effigy of Ravan, right? So we bring, that is again a symbolism. We say that we are destroying the 10 bad qualities in us and we are paving way for a newer version of ourselves. Okay, so if you see in every context, fire is a sign of purity. And why fire? Because when you put anything into fire, anything, it will just burn it. It will not think, oh, this is gold, I should not burn it. Oh, this is only trash, I will burn it. Oh, this is only paper, so I will burn it. Oh, but this is diamond, no, I will not burn it. Fire doesn't say that, no. Fire is equal to everyone. It burns down everything. And that is why you will always see, fire as a sign of purity. And have you also noticed that sages, saints, wearing that saffron or orange color robes, that is also again a symbolism, right? It's a color of orange, and that it's the color of fire, right? So it's a sign of purity, a pure mind where you don't discriminate. Okay, so that is very important. So whenever, one of the things that we should always do is question, because our elders have done many things, our ancestors have done many things for a reason. Today when you ask questions, sometimes you might not get answers, but you should continue probing and finding the answers for yourself, because that will give so much joy and meaning to all the things that you do. Okay, all right, so moving on, there is okay, so we also celebrate a festival called Kantikedibam, which we will talk about in a bit. So this is the Dashera thing. Okay, so today, whose darshan are we going to get? We are going to a place called Tiruvannamalai, where we worship Arunachaleshwara. Okay, so Tiruvannamalai is in Tamil Nadu. I know on day one you went to Kanchipuram to visit Ekambareshwarar, and then you went to Tiruvannaikaval, where you worshipped Jambukeshwara. And today we are going to Tiruvannamalai, where we will worship Arunachaleshwara. Okay. Okay, as I said, Tiruvannamalai is in Tamil Nadu. It's very close to Vellore. It's south of Vellore, and it is southeast to Bangalore. Okay. Now, this place is actually a hill. It's a mountain. Okay. So the whole mountain itself is worshipped as a god here. Okay, it's a very interesting phenomenon. We are talking about fire, we are talking about temple. You would have imagined temple on the top of a hill, bottom of the hill, in the middle of the hill, where they have carved out and then they have made gods there. But here, the temple itself is worshipped as a god. Okay, which is very fascinating. That is why people go around the temple. There is a practice of girivanam, which again we will talk about. Girivanam, there's a story behind it also. So girivanam just means that giri is mountain. Okay, valam is going around it. So it is a practice of girivanam. Okay, so as I said, we have the mountain itself. It is said, it is very interesting. Okay, you all know there are 4 yugas, right? Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, and Kali Yuga. It is said that this mountain has been existent since the Satya Yuga times. Okay, and this is like millions of years. Okay, so, but what they say is, in Satya Yuga, this mountain was in the form of Agni. Even today, we know this phenomenon. What is a mountain with fire inside it? Anyone knows? What do we call a mountain with fire inside it? A volcano, that is correct. So yes, it is a volcano, right? So we know that phenomenon. So probably it was a volcano then. And then during the Treta Yuga, it probably got its greenish, tinge, or on top, it got that thing, and hence it was called emerald. Maybe it later transformed into a goldenish color on the top, and then it was called the gold mountain, and now it is a solid rock. Okay, we are only speculating that it could have been called for these reasons. Okay. Now, for a long time, even until a few years back, there was a custom where the natives of that town, in Tiruvannamalai, whoever was living in that town would never wear footwear. Because when we go inside a temple, we will not wear footwear, no, out of respect. Same way, to people there, the mountain itself is a temple. So wherever in that town you go, You will see the Lord. You will see Lord Shiva there, the mountain. So they would never wear chappals, thieves. Isn't that amazing? That for so many years, people will just walk barefooted, and it's also a very hot region. Especially in summers, it gets very hot, and people would not wear footwear. And also, this place has been the inspiration for many rishis and siddhas. We will actually talk about one. We will learn one of saints who was here, and he was very inspirational. Keep guessing who that person is, and then you talk about that. And do you all know who siddhas are? Siddhas are people who are who look like normal people, like any of us, but they possess very, very special powers which have come out of tapas, or the intense concentration and intense focus. So these people, when you look at them, you will not know. They will look like you and me. You will not know, but they possess a lot of inner power that they have, come up with after years and years of meditation and focus, tapas, and all that. So there are a lot of rishis and siddhas. Even today, when you go to this temple, you will be able to see a lot of them there. Of course, as I said, you will not be able to recognize them. Okay, looks like my voice is breaking. Maybe, you know what we can try doing? You can all turn off your videos. Maybe that could help a little. Okay. All right. So we said about this big fire. We worship Lord as, a form of fire and all that. So there is a story behind it. So we're going to see the story behind why, or what is the story behind Lord Shiva being worshipped as fire here. Okay, so this is one of the interesting stories where we see Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva together. Okay, one of the fewer stories where we have all of them coming together for our to tell us to tell us about a value that we all have to imbibe. Okay, so as I said, remember, I told you that everything is about symbolism. Most things that we do, practices and everything, it is about symbolism. We should understand why we are why we are doing what we are doing. Okay, when we understand that, there is a lot more respect towards what we are doing. There is a lot of meaning. That way, this story has a huge value for us. Okay, let's go on to the story. One day, what happened? Okay, before that, in Hinduism, how many gods are there? I know Radha auntie touched this before. How many gods are there? Anyone? Unlimited. Come on, chat your answers out. How many gods are there in Hinduism? Plenty. 3, infinity, 33 crores. Okay, no. The answer is there's only one God. Okay, in Sanatana Dharma, in Hinduism, there's only one God, but there are many forms. Okay, so for example, if the God, the ultimate God, the Parabrahman is what we call. Okay, if that God says, okay, it's time for me to create something new, he takes the form of Brahma to create. He says, no, now it is time to preserve something. He takes the form of Vishnu to preserve it. Okay, but there is only one God, but many forms, because we all have different preferences also, no? See, one might like spicy food, one might like bland food, one might like something hot, and some people will like cold drinks. We all choose and worship God based on our preference. Okay, that's why we have many forms. So we are able to relate to God in some way. Okay, so that's why we have our Ishta Devata and all that. So there's only one God, okay, but he manifests in multiple forms. Even in you, it is the same God. Inside me also, it is the same God. So basically, you and I are not different, no? If it is the same God, correct, no? If it is the same God who is inside you, and if it is the same God who is also inside me, then you and I are equal. I cannot be better than you. I might have, a little more knowledge on something. You will have a little more knowledge on something else. You have different skills. I have different skills. You can write beautifully. I can't write beautifully. You can draw very well. Maybe I can't draw, but I can sing. Something like that. So, what our Hinduism says is there's only one God, but he manifests in multiple ways. So you pick and choose who you like, who you relate to, and then you worship that God. But ultimately, we are all trying to reach that one God. Okay, Parabrahman. Okay, have this at the back of your head. Now, what happened? One day, Lord Brahma and Lord Vishnu were having a very slight, friendly banter. I know this, you know this. We do that with friends, no? Like, hey, I am better than you. Hey, you are better. No, I am not. Okay, we do that, no? So the same way, Lord Vishnu and Lord Brahma were having a friendly fight. But then at some point, they forgot who they were. Then what did they do? They started fighting seriously, saying that I am better, you are better. Things like that. And now when they were all doing this, someone had to come and be a judge, correct? Now for that judge, okay, they called Lord Shiva. They said, Lord Shiva, please come and be our judge. Now Lord Shiva understood. These people have forgotten, okay, these lords have forgotten who they are. But Lord Shiva knew that Lord Vishnu, Lord Brahma, they're all manifestation of the same divine. So he said, okay, let me try to teach them the lesson. Let me try to do it in a powerful way. So he said, I will take a form. That's very nice, Sunaina. That's very nice. So he said he will take a form of a tower of a blazing fire. Okay. Tower of a blazing fire with no beginning, no end. Okay. And then he said, okay, if you can find the beginning and end, whoever finds it first is the winner. He declared that. Then what happens? Lord Vishnu, he has this Varaga avatar, no, the avatar of a boar. So he disguises, he gets into that avatar of a boar. He starts digging. Okay, he goes down, searching for the bottom of the fire. And then what is Brahma's Vahana? Who knows what is Brahma's Vahana? It is a swan. That is correct. So it's a swan. So what does Brahma do? He immediately hops on a swan and starts flying. Up. He keeps flying to find the top of the fire. The beginning and the end. So these two are flying, digging, going, and then years are going on. You remember, I'm sure you would have heard in one of the classes that there is a relative time difference. In the loka where the lords are, the time is like an elongated time, and in Bhumi where we are, it's a different time. So according to the loka of the lords, they are going. It is happening for years, and there is no end to it. So Lord Shiva is also getting worried. What is happening? These people are not even realizing it. And then at one point, Lord Vishnu stops and says, I think I understand what Lord Shiva is telling. Okay, we are all the same. There is no point. It is no use fighting that I am better or you are better. He realizes that. He comes back. He says, Lord Shiva, I'm sorry. I know I slipped. I should have realized it earlier, but I realized that you and I are the same. There is nothing called one is better than the other. We are the manifestation of the same divine. He boasts. But you know what Lord Brahma does? He has that little thing. He still wants to win somehow. So when he is flying, he sees some flowers falling. Okay, beautiful flower. He catches hold of one flower and asks, hey, who are you? The flower says, I am Taram. Okay, Tarampu is the pine flower. I think that's what it's called in English. But so the flower falls down and it comes and says, I am Tarampu. And Brahma asks, where are you coming from? And the flower says, I'm coming from the top of Lord Shiva's head. Then Brahma gets an idea. He says, you are coming from Lord Shiva's head. So you have seen his head. I have seen you. So you come as a witness. So he takes that flower along to Lord Shiva and says, I saw your head. This is the witness. And the Tarampu also says, yes, Lord Brahma saw you. But there, Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu were standing there and smiling. They knew, no? They knew that, Lord Brahma had not seen. So Lord Brahma had not seen is what they knew. Then what happened? They said, Lord Brahma, we know you have not seen. And then they made him realize that he had not seen. And then Lord Brahma felt a little ashamed. Oh, now I realize we are all the same. We are all manifestation of the same Parabrahman. Why did I do that? He felt very ashamed. And that is one of the reasons why you will not see many Brahma temples. There will not be a dedicated temple to Brahma. Maybe one or two, but they said in this world he is not worshipped because of that one, thing. So he lost all his status, as this great Lord and all that because of his one quality where he wanted to show that he was better. Okay. And what happened to this Tarampu, which gave this wrong witness? Lord Shiva said, I don't want to see you. You will not be used in my when people worship me. So you will not be used in my worship. Tarampu felt really bad. He said, Lord Shiva, I'm really sorry. Please, please, please forgive me. And then finally, Lord Shiva said, okay, fine. Happened has happened. You will still not be used in my regular worship. Only once during the Shivratri, that too only during the third Kala. So we have 4 Kala Pujas, okay, at different timings. So we do 4 pujas, okay, at different timings. During the third Kala Puja, you can be used. That's the only thing. That's your punishment, he said. And then Tarampu humbly accepted. Okay, so this is what happened. There's a very deep meaning behind this, no? That we are all the same. Why fight? Okay, we say you are better, I am better. Not needed, right? We are all the same. So let us have this in our back. It's not Tarbu Sunaina, it is Tarampu. Okay, it is a flower. Tarampu is the name of a flower in Tamil. It is called Tarampu. In English, it is, I think it is called the pine flower, I think. You can just Google it up. Okay. Okay, now for another question. If you see this idol on the right side, this murti, this representation. So if you see in any Shiva temple, at the back of the inner Garbhagraha, you will see this particular manifestation of Shiva. You see the boar here at the bottom, and there is Brahma and there is Vishnu there. The swan is not very clear, but the boar is very clear. Okay, so you will see this. Now, anybody can tell me what this form of Shiva is called? Anyone knows? Chat out your answers. No, it is not endless fire. That is right, Lingodbhavar. Correct. That is the answer. He is called the Lingodbhavar. Okay. So you will, next time you go to a Shiva temple, always go around the inner Garbhagraha and you will spot this manifestation or this form of Lord Shiva there. And you can, you can remember this story. Okay, moving on. Okay, moving on. Remember I told you about girivanam at the beginning? Okay, so what happens? There's a story behind this. Today also, we see that people go around the whole mountain, which is called the practice of going around the mountain is called the girivanam. You see how we go do pradakshina in the temples. You go inside and you go round and round and round, right? Why do we do that? Because it means whenever we do pradakshina, we do it clockwise. So the god is always on our right side. Okay. Again, this is very symbolic. Okay. The symbolism is that we keep God on our right and we go around. So we are in a small way telling that I am going about my life, but you are always on my right. You are always on with me, taking me around in life. Okay, that is one way to look at it. The other symbolism also about saying that always be with me to do the right thing. That's why we always keeping on the right. Okay, always be with me while we are doing that. There are also, some people have tried to understand the energies. We know the temples are built at places where there is that, where the energy of the earth is at the maximum. Okay, so they say that when we go around the temple in the clockwise, our body energy is in sync with the temple, the energy at that place, and hence we are able to absorb the energy of the atmosphere. Again, it's something that people are trying to prove scientifically, but really we don't need a scientific reason to do anything that our ancestors have done for thousands of years. Okay, it's just science, the way we are trying to prove everything does not have to be proven through science. Okay, there are a lot of things our ancestors have done for the cultural aspect, for the hereditary aspect of it. We can still do it, if it gives us peace. Okay, so apparently Parvati Devi was the first person to go around the mountain for the first time, and she did it on a Paurnami night. We all know how Parvati Devi came to be born on earth, and she prayed, she did a lot of tapas to get back to Lord Shiva and all that. No, so from Kanchipuram, last week Radha auntie told you about that story. So from Kanchipuram, she also came here, and she is supposed to have gone around the mountain. Okay, so that's what makes the Girivaram also very special. That's why it is said that on Paurnami night, if you go around the mountain, then you get Lord Shiva's blessings or his grace. Okay, and we also know that the Lord is worshipped as Annamalaya and Unnamalai Amman. So Unnamalai Amman is the form of Parvati that is worshipped here, who's worshipped here. Now, around the temple, it's just not like going. Today, we have nice roads and all that. Many years back, even the roads were not there. So it used to be rocky and all that. But what is interesting is around the mountain, we have lingas, Ashta lingas. Now, 8 things, right? Eight Ashta means 8. 8 lingas are there. Installed by different devas. So that's why you would see Indra Lingam, Agni Lingam, Varuna Yangam. So around you stop and you pray to different lords for different things. And then you go. So you start at the Indra Lingam, you go around, you come back to Indra Lingam again. Any guesses on how long this whole trail is? How many kilometers is one round around the mountain? Any guesses? 11 kilometers, 16, 14, 14,800 kilometers. No, 15, 20. Okay. So the answer is it is 14 kilometers. Okay, depending on how fast you walk, you can go around it, between 1 to 2 hours or sometimes 3 hours. Okay, so that's what that's how long it is. It's a very, very beautiful thing. So I have been to Tiruvannamalai when I was very, very young. I was probably 10 or 11, and there's a very interesting thing there. There's something called idikku player. Okay, you should not miss it when you go to Tiruvannamalai. It's a small temple, smallest temple if possible. Okay, you know how you go enter the temple? You lie down sideways and you crawl, and then you worship the Lord, and then you crawl out the other side. It's very interesting. And you know what is the speciality of this? No matter how big a person is, the person will still be able to squeeze and go through that entrance and come out. Interesting, no? It's one of the really interesting architectures you can see. So don't forget to miss this when you visit Tiruvannamalai next time. So as I said, there are 8 powerful lingas, right? And 14 kilometers to complete. Now, how many Gopurams can you see here? Quick, chat it out. 6, 4, 9. Okay. 4. No. So there are 9 Gopurams. You know what is the speciality about our kings? You know, the kings who built all these temples and all that. When something is built, they come and then they look, okay, and then they say, oh, this is so beautiful, I will add on to it. Okay, that is the speciality of the kings who used to rule us. They will never demolish anything. Now, this temple has 9 Gopurams. Okay, some are big, some are small, but there are 9 Gopurams totally. So we will, every Gopuram has a story behind it. We will not have time to go around all of the stories, but we will definitely see some of the stories that we learn. Now, this is the Rajagopuram. Okay, as you can see, this is the Rajagopuram, and this, once again, there are 11 stories, okay, which is 11 floors, okay, and it is 217 feet tall. It's one of the tallest, okay. To give you an idea of how tall 217 is, it's about 25 elephants standing one on top of another. Can you imagine? You can imagine one big elephant. Imagine putting 25 elephants one on top of another. This Gopuram is that tall. You know, magnificent, no? Imagine how they would have constructed this in those years. They didn't have all these fancy machinery or technology that we have today, but they still created it. Right? It is so fascinating. Now, this was created during the Nayak period, okay? And as I said, our kings usually built on top of another. So there would be one small Gopuram, and then another king would come and say, okay, I worshipped here. He would have been a Shiva Bhakt, someone, and then they built a bigger Gopuram, and so on. There's another Gopuram. This is a very interesting story. Vallala Gopuram. Okay, so this is, Veera Vallala was a Hoysala king. Hoysala was the region in Karnataka, okay, Belur and all that. That area was ruled. Now, this particular king from Hoysala, Veera Vallala, he was such a big Shiva Bhakt. He loved Tiruvannamalai so much, and he came over and he worshipped here. Okay, he came here, he worshipped Lord Shiva here, and he did not have a son. And he prayed to Lord Shiva, and he had a vision saying, Lord Shiva came and said, when the time is right, I myself will become your son. That's what he says. And this Hoysala king had that vision, and he went about his duties very, he was very dutiful king and all that. And that was also the time when a lot of invasions were happening by Islamic rulers. Okay, see, Islamic rulers, they did not look at the temples as a place of worship. For us, it is a place of divine, right? But for them, it was not their bird. So they actually looked at our temples as a place of wealth, of, a lot of treasure. So they started looting away a lot of jewelry, this, that. They started destroying the temples. So Veeravallala was one of the kings who fought very vehemently against the invasion. So there was one time when a big festival was happening in the temple. It's called the Teppakulam festival. Teppakulam is where that there is a pond. In many temples there is a pond. The Lord is made to sit there in the pond, and then we have him going around and all that. Okay, we can also go in a boat and all that. It's very, very exciting to watch that. Now, that festival was happening, in the temple, and the war was happening on another side. So what happened? The king died in the war. There was absolute silence. So the whole festival came to a standstill. Like, they don't know what to do. The king is dead. The festival has to go on. So the Lord is said to have come in disguise and done the final rites, the funeral for the king. In Sanatana Dharma, in Hinduism, usually the son does all the funeral rites for the father. So in this way, Shiva assumed and disguised himself, came, and he did the funeral rites for the king. That's the belief we have in this. And then he went and he took a dip in the holy water, and then he went into the shrine. Is what even today, when the Teppakulam festival happens, the Lord goes around, but before going into the temple, he is given a bath and then taken into the murti, is given a bath and then taken in. Okay, it's symbolic of this incident, and we still take a look at it. So that is why he has a very special place, and this Vallala Gopuram was constructed by this king. Okay, so you will be able to see, and this is the one in the eastern direction that you will say, and this is also called the Tiruvasal. Tiru means it's like a divine entrance. Vasal means entrance, and Tiru is like a salutation that you give to anything, to describe the divinity in. So we call this Tiruvasal. Okay, so I told you before that we will be talking about few siddhas, rishis, and all that. No, here is a very, very inspiring story of Arunagirinada. So what's the story? Arunagirinada was born to a Devadasi. Devadasi is a woman who serves the Lord in the temple. Okay, she is a dancer. They live in the temple and they serve the Lord at all times. They don't do anything else other than serve the Lord. Okay, so that is what is a Devadasi. This person was this Arunagirinada was born to a Devadasi. He lost his mom, dad at a very young age. He didn't have mom, dad. He had only one sister. Okay, she was called Adi. So this person, Arunagirinada, was raised by his sister. He was very pampered. They always say, no mom, no dad, little boy, it's okay, let him do. Okay, she would always pamper him and let him do whatever he wants. When he grew up also, he was very brash. He was a very brash, rude young man. He would always get drunk. He would go have fun with women. He would pay a lot for women to come and entertain and all of that. Okay, which is not right. So at one point, he came home and he told his sister, I want more money. And the sister said, I am sorry, I really don't have any money. if you want, and she says, I have sold my jewelry. I sold all the things that I have at home to give you the money, and you have spent it all. There is no money, but I can give you one idea. You can sell me, and with that money, whatever you get, you can spend that also. But after that, you will still not have any money. Just one word, it just hit him. He was like, oh my God, am I that bad a person to sell my sister? Is that what I have, is that the impression I have given my sister? And he felt extremely bad. He went to the top of the Gopuram and he just jumped. He wanted to commit suicide and he jumped. That is what happened. But what do you think happened after that? Did he live? So what happened was, when he jumped, he felt like he was floating. He felt like he was on this very soft bed. And he opened his eyes and he saw Lord Muruga in front of him. And he was shocked. He was like, there are so many people who worship Lord, who do tapas, who are so great. And I am such a worthless person. I have been wasting away my life. And Lord appears in front of me. Oh my God. Okay. He thinks about that. And then Lord Muruga tells him, it is not about how you lived in the past. It's about how you are going to live from now on. That is what is going to define you. If you think about again this story, there is a very interesting, interesting thought inside this. For all of us, life always gives us opportunities to change and be a better version of ourselves. We would have kept lying to our parents sometimes. But one day we will get caught. If mom asks, we'll be like, oh yes. There are two ways to react to that. Admit that we lied and tell ourselves that, hey, maybe we should not lie. Okay, because at the end of the day, parents always think the best for us. Why should we lie? And then change and become a better person, adopt honesty. Or we can go about saying that only one time we got caught. Other times we escape. We will try other ways next time. Okay. Now, life always gives us such opportunities. And it's very important that we use and take those opportunities to be a better version of ourselves. That's when we grow. Grow meaning not physically grow, but internally, we become better people and all that. So Arunagirinada was smart. He took that opportunity, he changed his life, and he became a better person. And then what did he do? So, and then 1 second. Are you able to hear me? Is everyone able to hear me? Yes? Okay. He composed a lot of songs on Lord Muruga. Okay, so he is supposed to have composed more than 16,000 songs, more than 16,000. But today we have only about 2,000 songs that have been recovered. So if you are a follower of all the Sturpugar and everything, there is a tongue twister. Okay, if you know Muttai Tiru Atti Tirunagar, and that shloka, that song was written by Arunagirinada. Okay, if you can't, I'll try to send you a link to that. You can go ahead and hear that song. It's a very nice song. Okay, so, and he was also featured in the Indian stamp a few years ago. So take a look at that. If you do have that stamp, you know the story behind why this person is so inspiring. There is also a Gopuram for this person in Tiruvannamalai. Okay, that is why we are talking about this person. This person was born here and there is a Gopuram for him here. The Gopuram is not called as Arunagirinada Gopuram, though. It is called as Kili Gopuram. And there is a reason behind that also. There is a story. Okay. So in those days, all these poets, they would be sponsored or patronized by a king. So obviously, how else will they earn a living? They need food, they need money to buy clothes and all that. So Prabuddha Deva Maharaja was the person who patronized Arunagirinada. And there was another person in the in that court called Sambandhan. He was very jealous of Arunagirinada. Okay, so what he did, he went. He was trying to devise a plan to kind of overtake Arunagirinada. He knew that if he has a direct fight or a direct competition, he will not win, because clearly Arunagirinada was much better in his poetry and his arguments. So what did he do? He said one time the king was sick. He was starting to lose his eyesight. Okay, he was losing his vision. At that point, what happened? He said, if your Arunagirinada is so powerful that he was able to see the Lord and this and that, why don't you ask this Arunagirinada to go and get you the Parijatapu? Parijatapu is a flower which has extremely high medicinal properties. Okay, and it's not easily available. You cannot find it easily. So he said, why don't you ask him to go get that flower and cure your vision problem? So when he challenged, Arunagirinada used his mystic powers. You remember I was telling you about Siddhas who had mystic powers, special powers inside. So Arunagirinada was one person who had those mystic powers. He left his body and he went into the body of a parrot and he took flight. He flew and he was finding. And you see this parrot here in the picture. That's not a real parrot, but that is inside this. So there were lots of, even today, there are a lot of parrots on this Gopura. Okay, so it is said that, we don't know what happened to Arunagirinada after he did that. You know why? This Sambandhan, he was so jealous, although Arunagirinada hid his body and took, transformed into or put his soul into the parrot, this Sambandhan found out Arunagirinada's body and he burnt it. So Arunagirinada could not return to his actual form that he had. The body was not there. So it is also believed that he was one of the Chiranjeevis. Chiranjeevi is a person who has no death. Okay, we call Hanuman a Chiranjeevi. So it is also believed that Arunagirinada also is a Chiranjeevi who just goes on to live forever. And that is why this particular Gopuram in Tiruvannamalai is called a Kili Gopuram. One of the very, very famous popular festivals celebrated here is the festival of Kantikedibam. Until many, many years back, it is said that that the fire used to come by itself on the top of the mountain. But now there is a specific community, and people of that community walk up and they light the lamp there. And interestingly, no matter where in Tiruvannamalai you will be able to see that light. Okay, so that is why it is lit on top, and it is so exciting. No, imagine there is a Lord who is visible to everybody. Immaterial of who you are, rich, poor, man, woman, child, doesn't matter. You are still able to see that. There is also another symbolism in terms of the Kantikedibam. So we all know that we light a lamp, right? It is, we put oil, we put that cotton thread, and then we light a lamp. You know what it actually means? It means that oil is our ego. We always say, I won the first prize. I got the first rank. I am able to eat more. I can jump up high. That I, we always say I. But you remember the first story that I said, you and I are the same. Okay. So whenever we light the lamp, that oil is the I. Okay. The fire that we light, it will burn the oil. So that fire is the divine. So we say the more we, the more we burn that thought of I, and we start realizing that we are all equal, the light grows brighter. That is the symbolism. So next time you light a lamp, you light a diya, always remember that we are all equal. We are all equal. Okay, there is nothing like I am better, he is better. No, we all have our set of skills and all that, but we are fundamentally, we are all manifestation of that one Parabrahma. Okay, that is the significance. So in this temple town of Tiruvannamalai, the Kantikedibam is celebrated in a very grand way. The whole town is lit with lights. You go to any house, there will be a lot of agal, like that mud, brass, all of those lamps, types of lamps lit all along the streets. And it's a very, very grand festival in the south. They also make some very interesting, see, this is how they decorate the homes with a grand column and lights all around it. And we make very interesting prasads, puri urunde. You have this puffed rice, and you put jaggery, cardamom powder, and all of that, and you make it into yummy balls. And then you eat that. And you also make groundnut, peanut balls, right? Those peanut and jaggery. So all of these are prasads made for Kartikeya and it because it is also closer to the winter. It's usually celebrated around end of November, early December. That is the time frame when this festival is celebrated. Jaggery also provides you a little bit of heat or warmth in your body. Okay, that is one of the reasons why we use jaggery in almost every prasad that we make for Kartikeya. Look at how the steps of the temple are decorated with these lights. It's such a beautiful feast to the eyes. So if you get a chance, don't miss the chance to go and check out this place. It's really gorgeous. Okay, let me check what time it is. We have only 2 minutes. So I will very, very quickly go over the life story of another person who taught us what silence means. Okay, quick question. How many of you can stay silent, and how long can you stay silent for? Silent does not mean that you will talk with actions. No, no. Silence is true silence. 30 minutes. Someone says you cannot. 0 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours. Okay. We will see what this person, this person is Ramana Maharishi. Okay, he is a great saint. Okay, he's a great saint. And from a very young age, this person, he had a lot of visions. They say that when we are in deep sleep, we will not know anything. Okay, that's what they say, that when we are very, very deep asleep, in deep sleep, we will not know anything. And sorry, so I'm just checking the time. Okay, it's already 8:30. So they say, but this person, you know what, when he was very young, he used to sleep so deep that he would not know what's happening around him. He will not have any dreams. He will just be in deep sleep. Like his friends would take the entire cot, the bed, and put him in the garden. He will wake up next day and say, I was sleeping there, but I woke up here. How did that happen? He will not know anything. That much of a deep sleep. When he was a young boy, he had a vision. He said, there is a light somewhere calling me. I want to go. So he just left everything. He boarded a train. He just left. And when the train stopped at Tiruvannamalai, he said, no, I think I have to get off here. He didn't have any plan. He didn't have a plan of going to Tiruvannamalai or anything, but he just got into the train and he just got off there. There he stayed silent in tapas for 11 years. 11 years, can you imagine that? No, we can't stay silent for even 30 minutes. 1 minute also we can't stay silent. But this person stayed silent for 11 years. He taught us all the power of silence, and he's a very, very great saint. More about him, in later classes. We are really running out of time. But if you can, you have to go and take a look at his life story. It's very, very interesting person. Okay, here is your assignment. You can do your assignment and we have given you the form. I think you would have all received an email. So what, today we have to learn more about your land and all that. Who ruled your land in different centuries? What are the common inhabitants in terms of animals? What is grown on your land? And all of those, what is the important historic event that happened? It could be your state, it could be your native town, whatever you feel like. Learn more about your land. Okay, so that's the thing. I'm going to stop sharing. That brings us to the end of the session. I will you will be able to unmute yourself now, and I'll be happy to take any questions. And I think you can all turn on your cameras and give me your feedback. How did you like the session?
Very nice.
It was very nice.
Liked it? Good.
Mama, actually, I have
Yes,
six.
Rakshara, you have a question.
I have 6 questions. I have 6
Mommy,
questions.
voice is very breaky, ma'am. Mommy, voice is very breaky.
My voice breaking.
Hello. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I will.
We can't even hear you.
Bye, ma'am.
Ramcharan, you have a question?
Yes, ma'am. 6 of them. How does Lord Agni hold fire?
How does Lord Agni hold fire? He is the manifestation of fire. Okay, what we see as a symbol, right? Well, like think about it this way. Okay, we worship someone we cannot see. Okay, so we are giving the person a form. If I just put one person there, you will not know if it is water or fire or anything, no? So it is a representation. So it's a representation to know who that person is and why we are worshiping. It's not like one person is standing there and holding fire in his hands. No, it is not like that.
And will they use vehicles in Tiruvannamalai?
I'm sorry, can you ask that again?
Will they use vehicles in Tiruvannamalai?
Yes, you can go by car. Yes, they do. They have vehicles.
Car means it's like walking with shoes.
Yes, you can. You can. Nowadays, people walk with shoes. Yes.
And
Yes, Sunaina, you had a question.
Will other regions have only one god like Hindus?
Yeah, you see, every religion, okay, every religion has a god. Okay, and there are manifestations, but every religion also has its fruits. Christianity, some part they also pray to the mother of Jesus. Some parts, some community don't pray. Every religion have guns and all that, which has been passed on generations after generations. Okay, that's how we should look at it. Everyone has their own set of ways of worshipping their Lord. Yes, Sunaina.
Ma'am, so I wanted to ask, ma'am, because water is also a symbol of purity, so why mostly we use fire for the symbol of purity?
I did not understand. Can you, your voice is very feeble. Can you type the question?
Ma'am, I was asking that
Mhm.
if like water is all, I've heard that water is also known as the symbol of purity. So, so why we use fire mostly for the symbol?
You remember I told you there's one God, but manifestations are different. It is the same answer. So for example, I will give you another. In our body, okay, you have to have a balance of all the five elements, all the five natural elements, earth, fire, water, you know, and all the five are within our body also. You need all the five to lead a balanced life. Imagine the whole world was only water and there was no fire. You will feel super cold, no? You will feel really cold. So it is all again symbolic of the fact that there should be a balance in our life. We all do so many roles. See, you are a daughter, you are also maybe a sister, okay, you are a granddaughter and all that. So it is all about balance. So we worship lords in different forms. You know, Agni is a lord who is there in our body in stomach and tongue. Did you know that? It's a very interesting fact. So Ayurveda is a branch of Indian medicine which says about how the five things are balanced in our body. So that's the reason why. Okay, Intu is asking a question, ma'am. Why the Murugan saved Arunagirinada even though he was a bad boy? Okay, see, I told you, right? Life always gives us opportunities. It realizes our potential. It always gives us opportunities. That is why Lord Muruga saved Arunagirinadar and gave him another opportunity to become a good boy, and he did. Okay, that's why he did. Again, Pranati is asking why people, or the name of the temple where people crawl and go. I'm not quite sure. I can definitely find the answer for you. There are a few temples where people do that.
I met that in Shirdi. One of the temples in Shirdi.
Yes, there are a bunch of temples that
I went to that and we have to crawl. It's not that small.
Okay, good. Any other questions that we have? Yes, Mahidhar.
Ma'am, yes, ma'am, you said what is the hill name, ma'am? First you said.
The first, that's Tiruvannamalai.
Yes, ma'am. What if we
Yes, ma'am,
stuck
that-
in we crawl in the temples?
I'm not hearing you fine, Kana. What?
Hill, beside we have some temples, right, ma'am?
Oh, the Idukku Pillayar.
Yes,
Where
ma'am.
we have to crawl. Yeah, it is called Idukku Pillayar. You can just go there and inquire. You can ask about the Idukku Pillayar and you will be able to crawl and go. It's a very tiny temple.
We stuck out there.
Nobody has gotten stuck there. you will be able to find your way out.
Okay, ma'am. You said that another story about a boy, right, ma'am? Arundhati.
Arunagirinada, yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Forgot the question. It's okay. You remember and then you ask me. You can also email us your questions.
Yes, ma'am. After changing into a good boy, he went to something. Right, ma'am. To bring a flower for the king, right, ma'am? To bring a plant.
Your voice is breaking.
I'm still trying to hear some of you. You're breaking up. Can you type out the question, Mahidhar, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, I have 3 more questions.
Okay, so if Sambandar and Arunagirinadar were saints, why did they need material support of patronage? So saint doesn't mean that they can live without food and water and all that. They will also have families and all that. Saints, Arunagirinada was a poet. Mainly, he was a poet. He had mystic powers. He was not a saint. Ramana Maharishi was a saint. And as I said, Arunagirinada was a poet with mystic powers. And for day-to-day living, you still need money. It was not the Satya Yuga where things magically happened also. So this was very recent. It's history. So that's why they needed the support of the kings to go on with their thing. Tharampu in English is called the screw pine. That is what it's called. Indu had asked a question, what is the name of the flower refused by Shiva? It is Tharampu. It is called the screw pine in English. Any other question? You can chat it out. You can just type it in.
Ma'am,
Yes.
how can the swan and boar survive without food for years? They were following up the fire, right?
I didn't say they didn't eat. Maybe they stopped and ate. I just said they were flying for years. Maybe they stopped and ate. I don't know. But it's all symbolic, as I said. See, all these stories are very symbolic. It's important for us to look at them as stories that are trying to tell us some inner meaning rather than just taking everything, at the face value. So, that's the, yeah.
Will it be the same time as going down and going up the fire?
It depends on how fast a swan flies and how fast a boar digs, no? Depends on the skill of the swan and boar.
And you told about a man in the last, this is the last question actually. And but we make sounds while eating, right?
Okay.
And you told he was silent for 11 years.
Silence is inner silence also, no? So he was quite silent. Maybe someone fed him. So see, when you are in tapas, right, you don't realize. You just go on. Okay, that is what. And there are more information that I could not share because of the time limit. So I will definitely. I will definitely take that opportunity to try and cover more of his life story next time. Okay, next time we meet in a different class.
Okay, and
So, Arunagirinada. See, it could be Ramcharan. I'll answer a few more questions that have come on the chat. See, Arunachaleshwara. Aruna means fire. So, because he was, usually when you have a special deity, your Kuladevata and all that, typically kids are named after the Kuladevata and all that. Maybe the parents, Arunagirinada's mother named him after that, and hence he got the Arunagirinada name. It could be, I don't know. I was wondering what the name of Arunachaleshwara was. So that's the name. Aruna is basically fire. So Arunachaleshwara is the Lord, and the Ishwara is the Lord. So Arunachaleshwara is the Lord in the form of the fire. Okay, I think try to answer most of the questions. If you have more questions, please email us and we'll be very, very happy to. I'll again meet you tomorrow with another exciting temple. And please email me your feedback. And tomorrow I'll make sure that my voice is not breaking. I have a better internet. I'll see you all tomorrow then. Okay. Namaste.
Ram, Ram. Enable screen sharing.